Oh, boy. Well, you can do all the rationalizing you would want. These teams are going to do what these teams do. We sit here and talk all that trash about the Fangio scheme, not wanting anything to do with it anymore. Definitely don't want anything to do with any of the disciples there. Rather go with a more aggressive defense, a more aggressive approach, more man coverage, a lot more varied approach as far as the fabricated pressure schemes go, decreasing the space out there. And now look, Vic Fangio out as Dolphins DC becomes Eagles' top target. And then look at what does this? Fangio now will be the top target for the Eagles' vacant defensive coordinator position, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler. And a deal is expected. Oh, my God. Coach McDaniel said, I want to thank Vic for his contributions in 2023 when we assessed the season and became apparent that this was the best path forward for all parties involved. The Dolphins don't want him. You don't want his disciple. You'd fired that man with like 25% of the season left. Have someone else running his scheme for him. Demoted him. I don't think I've ever seen anything like. He got demoted and had his play calling duty stripped away. Then you go and get the guy who he learned from. So obviously the Dolphins had a better defense than the Eagles, but it's not like the Eagles had trouble with the Dolphins defense when Fangio was running that this season, in a win for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it should be about the scheme itself. Now, on one hand, I understand continuity. It's clear that this man is fired next year, him being Nick Sirianni, if they don't get it together. So he won't let you fire your entire staff and then you get a bunch of years after that and just continue to switch personnel. So he has one shot at glory here. You're already set up for the Fangio scheme. I guess if you're from continuity purposes goes, you got that guy and you go ahead and bring the real deal in. You wanted him to begin with. Gannon gets a job. He already took a job. He would have been the DC anyway. You were already consulting with him. So that makes sense from that standpoint there. So you had to go out and find yourself a disciple. You found yourself his best disciple, right? Desai is the guy that people would point to if they say, you want somebody to run that Fangio scheme? He would be the guy. The cat from Carolina, coming up under him now, right? Pause. What do you guys think about this? Yeah, I would say 90% of the people who visit this channel were wanting something different from the Fangio scheme, but now you get the real deal. Now will we see how it goes? I'll attach that one thing on here where I talked about how Clinton Hurt and Desai was ruining both the Seattle Seahawks defense and the Philadelphia Eagles defense because, of course, all those are his two chief disciples there, especially the Clint Hurt cat out in Seattle there. So he's out of a job. Desai's out of a job. Fangio was out of a job. But now Fangio hired or looks like he could be in the process of being hired by the Eagles. Hopefully something happens and they be like, no, we want Wink Martindale, right? Somebody, just something different. I don't know. You playing it safe here? Sometimes when you play it safe, you get non-safe results. I don't know. Let me know, man. Oh, boy. So now I'm prepared to be disappointed on the offensive side of the ball, if I'm being honest about the situation, because to me this is disappointing. Now it could be very good, and everybody wants good results there, but I was personally looking for something different, something more aggressive. Wink Martindale is sitting right there, and a host of other cats. Now I would definitely want Vic Fangio over Ron Rivera though, so I could consider that a win if anything. But other than that, nah, man, I don't know, man. Let me know though, folks. All right, shout outs to everybody out there in Eagles land, man. We'll get it together here soon. Yo, conference championship time. Only 4 teams left, and I know everyone is excited. But you should be even more excited when you hear what your boy, who is partnered up with DraftKings once again, has to offer you. New customers placing a $5 bet will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you have to do is head on over to your Google Play or Apple Store, download that DraftKings Sportsbook, and it's on, baby. Want to know what you can do with $200 in bonus bets? You can combine multiple bets within the same contest to level up for an even bigger payout. And keep this in mind, if you're already signed up for DraftKings like me, you can get a no sweat bet. That's if your same game parlay doesn't hit, you can get that bet back. And if you don't have online wagering in your state, it's all good. DraftKings Daily Fantasy is your chance to join in on the fun while having a shot to win some cash prizes. Make sure you download that DraftKings Sportsbook app, enter the promo code TOPBILLIN. New customers betting $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. It couldn't be any more fun. Remember, the crown is yours.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. All right, y'all, and keeping up with the Philadelphia Eagles versus Seattle Seahawks channel bonanza right here, we have to talk about the man who has single-handedly ruined both the Philadelphia Eagles and Seattle Seahawks defense, and that is one Vic Fangio. I don't like this cat Vic Fangio scheme. This shit is doo-doo butter. Absolutely the softest scheme in the country, and for some odd reason, the Philadelphia Eagles jumped on a trend. It's one thing to jump on a trend that's hard, something extremely physical, but jumping on a Vic Fangio train, man, is like grown-ass men twerking and wearing skinny jeans and shit like that, right? Now, there's a discernible difference between Seattle and Philly. Seattle, a lot more equipped to be a Vic Fangio-style team. They were the best zone team, period, point blank, for the past however many years, so that fits. But in Philly, we represent the fabric of the entire Philadelphia metropolitan area, right? We're about hard-nosed, grindstone type shit. This does not fit the Philadelphia Eagles way. No. But both teams are struggling to reenact, right, what Vic Fangio does, but he's not struggling himself. This shit is crazy to me. But let me show you the connection. Vic Fangio, for all intents and purposes, is like the modern-day Bill Parcells, meaning a lot of the people in the league are running his shit just like they were doing Bill Parcells back in the day. People want to get his disciples. When he was in Chicago, he was doing his 1-2 thing and had an outside linebacker / defensive line coach by the name of Clint Hurt. Obviously, Clint Hurt leaves Chicago eventually, goes to Seattle, and is promoted to the defensive coordinator to run that Vic Fangio scheme. But they couldn't just get one Vic Fangio guy. They didn't bring in former Vic Fangio disciple Sean Desai, as he's a noted defensive back specialist under that Fangio scheme. So you have Clint Hurt dealing with the front seven and Sean Desai on the back end, albeit for 1 year, because Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni decided to bring in Vic Fangio himself as a consultant after he was fired from the Denver Broncos, but he didn't get a chance to hire Fangio, so he then decides to pivot to who? Sean Desai. 6 degrees of separation from your man Vic Fangio, and look at the results. These soft-ass coverage shells where people line up in tight formations, isolate safeties who can't handle the receivers on the inside, and it's just like stealing. So you check it right here, right? For Seattle, you get the same exact front you get from both Philly and Miami with the 2 interior defensive linemen and 2 edge players right there. You're creeping on the come up with the linebackers from the second level. It looks good in theory, but football isn't played in theory. You get an isolation on your safety, and then you get one of these right here with the yaka. Come on, man. Here's how it looks for my Eagles as well. Same deal. 2 interior defensive linemen, 3 technique, 2 eye, and Jalen Carter and Williams there. Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick out on the edges, damn near pressed to the nines in a motorcycle stance. You have your 2 off-ball linebackers, Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow here, and Kevin Byett usually back there with Reed Blankenship. But the thing that gets me is the spacing, especially on first down. Look how far off the corners are. This shit ain't soft. Like, come on, this is just stealing. On first down, you're able to hit a throw like this and get yourself 8-9 yards. You end up living behind the sticks. You cannot afford to live behind the sticks in this day and age. As you can see with the real thing in Miami, You have your same interior defensive lineman, your 3 technique and your 4 eye. You got your edge players in the motorcycle stance, linebackers creeping at more shallow depth. You even got your safeties trying to get involved here. I don't know. And this is against what appears to be 10 personnel. It could be 11 personnel, but, man, this shit looks mad soft and mad finesse. But here's the kicker for me. Look at total defense. The Miami Dolphins are still a top 10 defense with the actual Vic Fangio running it, opposed to, where are we? 22nd with one of his disciples and Sean Desai running it. And then you have Seattle here, 28th with Clint Hurt, another disciple running the same scheme. What gives, man? Is this a personnel thing? Right? So you're going to have people from Miami saying, well, hey, you guys just don't have the talent. And to a certain degree, I actually agree with that. Now, Philadelphia, if we want to compare teams, and we made a blended team of who would start on just one Vic Fangio defense out of all 3 teams there, I would think up front, each team will hold serve, meaning Miami doesn't have a reason to want to get rid of Christian Wilkins and Raekwon Davis and guys like that, just as well as Philadelphia with its front, right? We definitely wouldn't be giving up Milton Williams, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and all those guys. We would hold serve. In Seattle with Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed, same thing. No reason for anybody on those other teams to start over those guys too. Out on the edge, though, Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat, I would think possibly you would have Bradley Chubb. I would think it would be Bradley Chubb and Hassan Reddick would be the best 2 of those in a blended team. So you would say that Seattle ain't got it like that on the edge, right? Boye Mafe, close. He's definitely creeping on the come up there. He's one of these guys that I think will continue to ascend, but he's not there yet. Neither is Darrell Taylor. Neither is Derek Hall and people like that. Even Frank Clark back in the mix. And he's definitely looking like an old Frank Clark instead of the Frank Clark of old. Off ball, that's the problem with both teams, in my opinion there. I believe Jerome Baker and David Long would start on Philly. And they would start in Philly and they would start in Seattle. It's hard to say with Bobby Wagner. He's going to rack up a lot of stats, but he's making a lot of empty calorie tackles, in my opinion, these days. Not as impactful as he used to be. It looks like he's lost a step. But once again, it could be the scheme. Jordan Brooks, I think, is a very good player, but I would take David Long and Jerome Baker over both of those guys, and definitely over anything Philly could trot out at this point in time with Zach Cunningham, even Shaq Leonard, and Nicholas Morrow there. So they're really good right there. And then the safeties as well with Javon Holland and my man Deshaun Elliott. Javon Holland's the best safety on both teams. Even over Kevin Byard, who's played some really good ball in this league. Kevin Byard is new to that scheme, and he's not playing like the old Kevin Byard. Reed Blankenship for Philadelphia, I think, is one of the better ones. I believe Reed Blankenship would start in Seattle. He wouldn't start in Miami, though. Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams in Seattle not having good years at all. And you would think just – all things equal, right? At least 2 or 3 years ago, they would be the best safeties to me. Both of those guys would be tough on them this year, right? I guess maybe in that Fangio scheme ain't fitting them, but they're not playing well at all. Reed Blankenship playing pretty good football for Philadelphia when he's in there. Kevin Byard to be seen there, right? To be determined. Same deal with a Sidney Brown, a young cat like that. But Javon Holland, that kid is an animal. One of the best in the league. You talk about a playmaker extraordinaire, can hit, can cover, can play at range. That guy definitely fits that Fangio scheme there, and Deshaun Elliott will light you up. He's probably the biggest hitter in the league. So the sticking point to me, though, is the cornerback position. Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard, I would think, would start, period. They would be the Philly starters, right? Especially over James Bradbury. Maybe Darius Slay you can make an argument for.
I think I played an amazing game this week, man.
In Seattle, the young cat Witherspoon you could probably make an argument for as well, but you probably would rather start a veteran. And a lot of the time, your man Witherspoon is playing on the inside, playing zone anyway. So We don't really know how good he is as an exterior corner going against the top players in the league. And then on the other side, Rick Woolen not having a good year with his tackling, and his coverage ability is pretty good when he's not grabbing, and he's not a sexual assault artist out there, right? Being all panicky and grabby and shit like that, right? He's a walking penalty machine this year. So maybe it's about the Jimmies and the Joes in Vic Fangio's scheme more so than the scheme itself. You guys have to let me know on that front right there. But I will say this. Vic Fangio done fucked the Philadelphia Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks up. If only he could have been the coordinator for both teams, right? He would just alternate each week. Because damn, man, Desai and Clint Hurt struggling. But I expect both of those guys to pick it up here in the stretch run, except I expect Desai to pick it up this game and Clint Hurt can start the next game. All right, real quick, switching gears. Do you think the Seattle Seahawks can run on the Philadelphia Eagles? At one particular point in time, we were trending to be the best run outfit in the history of the game this season. It has since fallen off drastically, but we can still hop in these 3-4 fronts right here and get it done. As you can see right there, all gaps covered. Jalen Carter, Milton Williams up there doing absolute work. Watch the work right here in the middle from your man Jordan Davis, right? Tying up two blockers there, allowing Milton and Brandon Graham and Jalen Carter to do the 1-2 thing. Splakataya. I ask this because the Seahawks, when they get off in the run game, they are a totally different team. The play action game works, all that stuff, and then those explosive targets that they have, the efficiency of their offense, it just goes up another degree. As we see right here, Philadelphia's rushing defense, see where we at right here. We were number 1, and now we are number 17. What the? Wow. You can see right here what man, you can see the downfall of this defense at 4.2 yards per rush. Before, it was right up here with like New England and these guys. Look, 3.2 yards per rush for New England. That's crazy. The Houston Texans, 3.6. Chicago Bears, the Vikings, Titans, Dolphins. Fangio. Oh, come on, man. Fangio has his team at 3.8. Wow. That's crazy. Where are the Seattle Seahawks in this? Seattle Seahawks 23rd at 4.4 yards per. So, oh, man. Where are they at as far as rushing offense? All right, for as much flack as the offense is getting in Philadelphia, it's still the 6th offense in the league. Now, take that for what it's worth there. Obviously, you're going to be mixing in a lot of things there. Seattle, the 17th offense in the league, kind of middling there. Talent-wise, Seattle should be in the top 10 as well. So never forget that, right? On any given day, a team with top 10 talent can be a top 10 team. So keep that in mind there. But as far as the rushing goes, I've been very unimpressed with the rushing this year. And we see here Philadelphia 17th. Very un-Philly-like there at 4.1 yards per rush. And look at the Seattle Seahawks, 22nd, 4.0 yards per rush. If somehow Philly is unable to contain Seattle's rushing attack, when that play action gets off there, it could become something extremely interesting with how poor Philly is playing on the back end of its defense. Conversely there, can Seattle stop the run? Flipping back over, we see right here Seattle Seahawks 23rd giving up 4.4 yards per attempt. Man. Listen, I love football. I mean, it is a meat and potatoes sport, line of scrimmage like a mother. And if you can't see that with these two talented teams here, albeit one being 10-3 and the other being 6-7, both teams not maximizing their potential, at least the last few weeks, right? We can say both teams, right? But on the season, I'm sorry. If you can pile up 10 wins, I don't give a damn how they were piled up. You got yourself 10 wins. I'm pretty sure Seattle would love to have 10 wins right now and be 10-3. So you can't let that get you down if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And it can start right here to get back on track. because it's going to be who dominates both lines of scrimmage there. And, man, it is going to be fun. I said it before. I expect my Philadelphia Eagles to take care of business in Seattle, but it is going to be extremely hard. It should be a great game with two talented teams there. I can't wait for this joint to happen. And also, don't get me wrong, Seattle can definitely beat the Philadelphia Eagles with the way the Eagles are playing now. People talking about blowout this and blowout that. I had some dumbass Seattle cat up here talking about if the Seahawks don't blow out the Eagles, he's going to be mad. I'm like, what? They don't blow out a 10-3 team, you're going to be mad, and your team is 6-7? Makes no sense. Conversely, the same deal with some of the Philadelphia Eagles goofballs up there talking about blowing out Seattle. We haven't blown out anyone all year. So regardless of what you think what Seattle is very talented. Beating them would be just fine to me. So I'm going to go ahead and get a prediction now because your boy about to be on a little bit of a mini vacay this weekend because both of the teams that I cover, the Eagles and the Seahawks, aren't playing until Monday. So me and the wife go ahead and shoot up to North Jersey like we do. Hang out up there, man, taking the sights and sounds. Shout out to all my people out in North Jersey, right? Weehawken, Hoboken, out there in the Meadowlands. Shout out to my people in Jersey City, Orange, Elizabeth, all you people, right? But listen, I'm going to go ahead and say, I want you guys' prediction on this one too, just in case I can't get to another one. We will have the predictions on the record. I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take this something like 28-20. 28-20, I'm going with the Eagles, baby, to fly, Eagles fly on the road to victory. All right, let me know what you guys think out there, man. Best of luck to everybody out there, man. Enjoy your weekend. Your boy Jersey Murf doing it big as always. With that being said, salute.
I think I played an amazing game this week, man.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.